Hey guys, it's Mike the Manga Oracle, your host with Japanimation World. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are here. We're going to be live reacting to Lubu from the Record of Ragnarok and his anatomy. And if his anatomy is actually achievable in real life. Additionally, we're going to be comparing him to some of the most famous bodybuilders in history and see if this anatomy is achievable by anyone at all, including the best of the best from multiple generations. So, if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and jump right in, folks. So, guys, we are in 2021, and in 2021, you can be anything you want to be, apparently. And today, I am a bodybuilder. Why? Because I build my body one way or another. Everybody's a bodybuilder, whether you're building your body to be round, whether you're building your body to be chiseled, whether you're building your body to be thin, whether you're building your body to be a V, or whether you just want big biceps. Either way, you're building your body, I'm building mine. And I'm going to give my opinion on Lubu's anatomy, which appears to be pretty ridiculous. Lubu and a lot of the characters from the Record of Ragnarok series seem to have the most ridiculous of anatomies, and I wanted to share this with you guys. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a kinesiologist. I am not an endocrinologist. I am not a urologist. I am not a chiropractor. I am not anything. The only thing I am is an oracle, the manga oracle to be exact. So, Mr. Lubu. Who is Lubu? Lubu was a Chinese general from many, many years ago. And this here is the Record of Ragnarok's interpretation of him. Pretty freaking sauced out, if you ask me, aka jacked up. Now, let's start from the top. Let's start from the top because this guy's body here is absolutely insane. Now, we're not going to go into any spoiler territory. I do read the manga. I will be live reacting to the anime. Tomorrow will be the 17th. Today is the 16th, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm recording this video because I got a lot that I want to say. So, Lubu. Look at this body here, folks. Look at this body here. Absolutely insane. Now, I'm on the wiki page, and they pretty much have quite a few pictures of Lubu, black and white, color, so forth and so on. But this here seems to be his character design from the anime. And what I'm going to do is, before we go into any crazy detail, let's go ahead and go through some of these pictures just so you guys can get an understanding of this dude's body. So, we have this picture here where he looks relatively on the smaller side in terms of just sheer size, but his muscles and chiseledness, he's absolutely freaking shredded, and he's jacked. We have this one here where he appears to be even larger with this absolutely ridiculously tiny waist. And I mean, he's got a full 6-pack. If we remove this here, he's probably got 2 more under there, so it's probably an 8-pack. It looks like his chest is as wide as a freaking house. He reminds me of an old fitness YouTuber named Scooby. Scooby may actually still be around, so when I say old, I mean that from the standpoint of the last time I watched him quite a few years ago. Content is fantastic. He's got gigantic broad shoulders. Like, I mean, we're talking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson level shoulders. More crazier, because look at this dude's waist, and in this here in the bodybuilding world, we call this a V-taper. Now, Lubu in this picture here is freaking shredded. Absolutely freaking shredded. But what makes this picture just absolutely kind of crazy, he's not flexing. He's just standing there. He's flexing his forearm. He's flexing his other arm. But he's standing there. I mean, in this position here, you could technically be flexing your abs as well. But then we have all of this. Some people in real world, we would call these obliques. In this world, in the Record of Ragnarok world, I call this unobtainable. This is insane. I went through quite a few of the most famous bodybuilders and quite a few of some of my own personal favorite bodybuilders, and I can't find anybody whose body, particularly this area here, the oblique area, looks anything like this. On top of the fact, we can actually see his delts. We can actually see his lats from the front, and he's not flexing them out. I mean, there are poses where you can actually do a wing spread and actually show your lats. He's not showing, he's not doing it that spread. He's actually standing there relatively relaxed, and you can see his lats from the front. Obviously, like I said, obliques is on 1,000. His chest, I mean, as wide as the barnyard door, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he's a goddamn walking, tractor trailer. Biceps, absolutely insane. Like I said, delts, which are his shoulders, absolutely insane. I mean, look at this forearm muscle. His forearm muscle is damn near as big as my delts themselves. His forearms are enormous, absolutely enormous. We really can't see much more on this picture as far as his body is concerned, but his deltoids are absolutely ridiculous, insane. Now, we go ahead and let's take a look at another picture. So, we have this one here. Now, absolutely beautiful picture. But my goodness, is this anatomy obtainable in real life? That's the question. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. I'm going to give y'all the answer. I'm going to give y'all the real answer. But I just want you to take a look at the compactness and the smallness of his waist. On top of the fact, he has 2, 4, 6, 8 perfect abs with vascularity going all the way through everything. I mean, muscles, chest striations, ab striations. I mean, vascularity in the oblique area, vascularity on the delts. I mean, he for damn near got vascularity in his face. His freaking traps are absolutely enormous. His shoulders are as wide as a damn house. I mean, this guy is a freaking badass. I'm gonna tell you something. If he entered the Mr. Olympia competition, or maybe even men's physique, instant winner. Absolutely instant winner. Nobody has a physique that looks like this. I mean, maybe, I mean, this is ridiculous. On top of the fact, I mean, we got to think about what a bodybuilder takes to get to this, what a bodybuilder has to do to get to this. And then we think about Lubu himself. Do we think Lubu does what bodybuilders do, eating 4,000 eggs and chicken and broccoli all goddamn day, dehydrating himself with diuretics, going on super strict diets and things of that nature? Do I think that Lubu was doing that? Probably not. Probably not. Body absolutely fantastic. Let's take a look at another picture. Let's take a look at this one. So this here is a picture of the original design of Lubu. Now, this one here, actually, slightly a little more realistic in my opinion. His chest is a little smaller. His shoulders aren't quite as wide. He's not quite as lean in this picture as he is in the other pictures, but he's also not as big as well. And this here is probably a little more realistic. His waist doesn't seem to be as thin as it is in this picture here. Also, it doesn't look like you can see his freaking lats from the front like you can in the other picture. But this picture here, still a fantastic physique for anyone in real life to attain. I do believe that this physique here is possible, but this isn't the physique that we're here for. We're here to see if this physique is possible. So what we're going to do is I want to compare him to a few bodybuilders from past, present, and potentially see where we are. So the first up I want to compare him to is probably the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Definitely one of the biggest bodybuilders to ever step on stage, if not the biggest, and that would be Sir Ronnie Coleman. Now, take a look at this guy. Take a look at Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman stepped on stage close to 300 pounds. If I'm not mistaken, like 290 something pounds. Stepped on stage, absolutely shredded. On the Joe Rogan show, he says that he was at like -2% body fat. Not possible. You need to have at least a minimum of 3% body fat in order to stay alive. However, absolutely probably the greatest to ever live in terms of bodybuilding, and for damn sure the biggest. One of the things that stands out, just like we talked about with Lubu, chest wide as a house, shoulders, is absolutely insane. I mean, it's the goddamn circumference of the earth. Um, Arms, I mean, his arms are the size of tractor trailer tires. And take a look at his abs. With him being one of the greatest of all time, he does not have abs like this guy. He does not have, I'm sorry, he does not have 14,000 obliques like this guy. I mean, vascularity. Lots of vascularity, some in the chest, tons in the arms, tons on the shoulders, forearms. I mean, absolutely insane. And absolutely enormous traps. Now, this is a different type of pose, so this is actually stretching his body out some, but absolutely insane. But again, he doesn't look like Lubu. Let's compare him to someone else. Let's take a look at this fella right here. So this here is Ulrich Ullman. And this guy here is freaking shredded. Absolutely ripped up. Striations, vascularity, absolute incredible 6-pack, potentially even an 8-pack, depending on if you want to count this down here. Obliques, absolutely insane. But again, compare this area here, for those we're not going to get into, we don't have to get into very specific anatomy, but compare this area here and here to Lubu's area. You guys tell me. You guys tell me. This guy here, incredible shape. Pretty much most men would absolutely love to have this physique. I mean, look at these veins. Just absolutely, absolutely incredible. Yet, Lubu trounces him without even trying. And he's not even flexing. Where Mr. Ullman is absolutely flexing. And not only is he flexing, he seems to be pulling on some resistance bands using this machine here. So, yeah, he's actually flexing and activating his muscles in order to get this type of look going on. Incredible, but not Lubu. Let's take a look at another really, really famous bodybuilder that I'm sure all of you know. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, this here is a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger on stage, Mr. Olympia, 1974. I mean, one of the most fantastic bodies of all time. Look, I mean, you can see plenty of striations in the chest, lots of vascularity in the arms. I mean, abs 2, 4, don't quite have a 6-pack. It wasn't the craziest thing that was going. 6-packs wasn't really the big thing back in the 70s. So that really wasn't, what people were focusing on. It was more about the smallness of the waist. And with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the smallness of his waist, being one of the smallest to ever step on stage with huge lats. I'm just saying. So, that's Lubu compared to the great Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold, don't compare to Lubu. I'm sorry. Next up, let's compare him to, before we even do that, and this here is another picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, this is probably one of the most amazing pictures of Arnold's body. Absolutely beautiful body. Beautiful body. Just a work of art. Just incredible. Look at the size of his chest. Look at the development of the chest. I mean, arms, his delts or shoulder muscles are just freaking incredible. I mean, come on. But Lubu, Arnold's pretty jacked, but he's no Lubu. He's no Lubu. So another famous, one of the most famous bodybuilders trounced by Lubu. And then finally, let's take a look at one of my personal favorite bodybuilders, not quite as big, not quite as shredded, but definitely in the Hall of Fame for being the first man in history to have a 21-inch bicep without the use of PEDs, aka steroids and other stuff. And this here is Mr. Leroy Colbert. Like I said, first man to develop 21-inch arms. Now, the one thing that Leroy Colbert probably has him beaten is the smallness of the waist. I mean, he looks like he's doing a side bicep vacuum pose, which is just an incredible pose. Leroy Colbert was a bodybuilder from back in the 50s, 25 years before Arnold Schwarzenegger. But look at the smallness of his waist and his midsection. Absolutely incredible, which just V-tapers out and pans out into just an incredible body. And I want to go back and actually just show you what this guy's body looked like. This is him when he was like 18, from what I understand. Incredible. And you can see his lats from the front. Had smaller arms at the time, but this is not an arm pose. This is more of a V-taper wideness pose. I mean, just incredible. But let's compare this to Lubu. Leroy Lubu. I'm sorry. No comparison. Absolutely no comparison. Let's go and find one more of Leroy's photos. Phenomenal body. I'm pretty sure most would agree. Most men would love to have this body. Probably will never have it. He'll probably never have it. But most men would probably love to have this body. As lean and as muscular as he is, how does this body compare to this body? It doesn't. So, what does that tell me? What does that tell you? It tells us all that these bodies here, this body here in the Record of Ragnarok, this anatomy, does not particularly seem to be attainable. It's inhuman. Humans' muscles don't look like this. Waists in general don't get this small, being this large. I mean, there may be 1 in a billion people who can have a waist this small with shoulder width this wide and have all of this absolute incredible detail and definition showing and barely even flexing, having your entire back able to be seen from the front, veins in his freaking in his shins. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. So again, to wrap this all up, guys, Lubu's body, while it is fantastic, while the artwork is amazing, this is not an attainable body, ladies and gentlemen. So I recommend not even trying and just go for what you can go for. Like the famous fitness YouTuber Greg Doucette always say, close your eyes and think about your dream body. Think about it and really, really, really get it into your brain. Open your eyes up and then realize you'll never have it. And just imagine that you'll get about 50% to where your dream body is. And that there would be a major accomplishment. If most people could get 50% of this, you would be ecstatic and you would look better than 85 to 90% of the entire planet. So with all of that being said, guys, that is my take on Lubu's anatomy. I have more anatomy videos coming up with just my thoughts and my opinion on these bodies and if they're absolutely attainable. And we're going to compare them to different bodybuilders throughout this series. And not only get to know some of the bodybuilders, but also get to realize what's attainable and what's not, and all of that good stuff. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about not only the series, but what you think of Lubu's body, and maybe even some of the bodybuilders that I showed. Ronnie Coleman being an absolute one of the greatest freak of nature to ever walk this planet. Mr. Ulrich Omen, just an absolute fantastic physique. Arnold Schwarzenegger, 7-time Mr. Olympia, absolute greatest of all time. Just overall, most people just know him the most. He's Arnold. He's Arnold. I grew up absolutely loving Arnold Schwarzenegger. Every movie, even Last Action Hero, True Lies, T2, my favorite movie of all time. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, come on, come on, and Mr. Leroy Colbert from back in the 50s, Hall of Famer, first man to ever develop a 21-inch arm. Thank you guys for watching. We will be reacting to Record of Ragnarok live on the Twitch channel. Link in the description below. As soon as the episodes drop on Netflix, I will be live on Twitch, and we will be watching every single episode that day, no questions asked. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks again for watching. Salute to the family. Y'all know who y'all are. You want to become part of the family? Hit that subscribe button. Go over to Twitch. Hit that heart button. Maybe even subscribe on Twitch if you want to show some additional support. Appreciate you all. Peace. Y'all have a great afternoon, night, evening, morning, wherever the hell you are. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here for me.